Troops neutralize terrorists, recover arms and ammunition in Borno. 6 Ebonyi health workers arrested for alleged theft. Nigeria's gross domestic product grew by 3.46% in Q3 of 2024. On the foreign scene, Egypt says 17 missing after Red Sea tourist boat capsizes. Hello and welcome to News Update on Trust TV. I am Chiamaka Nwafo. Good evening, thank you for joining us. Troops of Sector 3 under the Multinational Joint Task Force MNJTF have executed a decisive operation against Boko Haram and ISWAP terrorists in Kukawa and Munguru local government areas of Borno State. The operation, which resulted in the elimination of several terrorists and the recovery of critical assets, took place in northern Borno. In a press statement on Monday, Lieutenant Colonel Olaniyi Oshoba, Chief Military Information Officer at MNJTF headquarters in N'Djamena, Chad, said the operation resulted in the elimination of terrorists and the recovery of valuable assets. He also said the terrorists who launched an offensive using suicide vehicle, burned improvised explosive devices, were met with superior firepower from MNJTF troops. According to Oshoba, following intense air and artillery bombardments and a ground assault, 5 terrorists were neutralized, while several others fled with gunshot wounds. The Nigerian Air Force NAF has confirmed the destruction of a terrorist food bank in the Jubilaram area of the Lake Chad Basin by the air component of Operation Hadinkai. NAF's Director of Public Relations and Information, Air Commodore Olushola Akimboyiwa, said the airstrike also led to the destruction of terrorist logistical operations. He added that several terrorists were neutralized in the strikes. In a statement he signed, Akimboyiwa said intelligence previously linked terrorists in the area to past attacks on troops in Kareto on 16 November 2024. NAF assured that it will sustain these robust, independent and joint operations until all enemies of Nigeria's prosperity and well-being are brought to justice. The victim of kidnapping for ransom has reportedly succumbed to injuries while receiving medical treatment following gunshot wounds by armed bandits in Jibia local government area of Katsina State. The deceased was among 2 rescued victims who had suffered gunshot injuries and were rushed to the hospital for immediate medical attention by the police in the state. The incident occurred Sunday evening after suspected armed bandits attacked 2 commercial vehicles at Danoro village along Magama Jibia Road in Jibia local government area in an attempt to kidnap the occupants. In response, the divisional police officer in charge of Jibia led a team of operatives to the scene and engaged the hoodlums in a fierce gun duel. The spokesman of the Katsina State Police Command, ASP Abubakar Sadiq, in a statement on Monday, said the DPO-led team successfully foiled the kidnapping attempt and rescued 14 victims. Although efforts are ongoing to apprehend the fleeing suspects, the Commissioner of Police in the state, CP Aliyu Musa, urged members of the public with useful information on suspected criminal activities to promptly report to the nearest police station. Ebonyi State Governor Francis Nwifuru has ordered the arrest and prosecution of 6 workers at the State Ministry of Health for allegedly diverting materials intended for the State Ministry of Health. During a project inspection, the governor noticed a truck loading registers, books and other materials from the ministry's warehouse. Not satisfied with the initial explanations, he conducted further inquiries and uncovered that patient data registers, cards and other documents were being loaded onto the vehicle without authorization. Further investigation showed that the materials had already been sold without government approval. Governor Nwifuru condemned the act, which he described as sabotage against the government's efforts to improve the health sector. The suspects have been handed over to the police for further investigation.
We are talking of this. This is the register for antenatal, daily antenatal register. And you decided to sell it. Whereas we don't have one in our primary health care where this is supposed to be. They are using exercise book to write. I have seen it time without number. in our own primary health care, and you have the opportunity to be a civil servant. And all these things are in their own custody and they are selling it.
We go to Lagos State, where the driver of a stolen car on Monday escaped death after a 40-foot loaded container fell onto it at Mile 2 en route to Apapa in the state. A statement by the Director of Public Affairs and Enlightenment Department of the Lagos State Traffic Management Authority, LASMA, Adebayo Taufik, said the driver was rescued alive through the swift and coordinated response of LASMA and other emergency services, including the Federal Road Safety Corps. Taufik said efforts to evacuate the fallen container are in full swing, while LASMA officers continue to manage the scene to ease traffic congestion and restore normalcy. The General Manager of LASMA, Olaliko Bakarioki, reiterated the critical importance of proper container securing by truck drivers and owners. He stressed that negligence in this regard endangers lives and property, urging strict compliance with road safety protocols to avert such catastrophic occurrences.
The best thing is you don't feel get well done now. You don't feel get well done.
On to political matters, the acting national chairman of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, Umar Damagum, has asked the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, to conduct a by-election to fill up the seats of pro-Wike lawmakers following their defection to the All Progressives Congress, APC. Damagum's request was contained in a letter he addressed to INEC dated 13 November 2024. The spokesperson of the Opposition Lawmakers Coalition, Ikenga Ugochinyere, made the letter available to journalists at a press conference in Akokwa, Imo State on Sunday. The letter is titled, Demand for Immediate Conduct of Fresh Election in 27 state constituencies of Rivers State, which have become vacant pursuant to Section 109 subsection 1G of the Constitution, drew the Commission's attention to the unlawful defection of 27 members of the Rivers State House of Assembly on December 1, 2023. According to the letter, going by the provisions of the Constitution, the lawmakers are no longer members of Assembly. The PDP acting chairman therefore urged the Commission to perform its constitutional duties and begin the process of conducting fresh elections to fill the vacancies created in the 27 state constituencies by the unlawful act of the former Assembly members. There was mild drama today on Monday at the Secretariat of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, in Cross River State as members protested alleged plans to reinstate the ousted state chairman of the party. The protest was carried out by the wards and local government chapters of the PDP across the state. Armed with placards with various inscriptions, the protesters threatened to leave the party should the removed chairman, Venetius Ikem, be reinstated. Some of the placards read, Ikem must go. All wards and local government chapters reject Vena. The decision of the Cross River State Working Committee is the best for the party. Led by the Calabar Municipality Chairman, Basi Asuko, the protesters said the removal of Ikem was the best thing to have happened to the party as the leadership had stagnated the growth of the party in the state. The State Working Committee of the party had, a fortnight ago, removed Ikem over allegations of financial misappropriation, high-handedness and ineptitude. But the ousted chairman described his removal as unconstitutional and threatened legal action against his purported removal. Almost 500 vehicles belonging to the Edo State government are still missing, according to Fred Itwa, the Chief Press Secretary to Governor Monday Okpebolo. A committee set up by Edo State to recover vehicles and other assets belonging to the state had earlier said 200 vehicles were missing. But Itwa said the figure is now higher, according to information from the committee led by Kelly Okungbowa. According to him, some of the missing vehicles were also traced to a former official of the past government of Godwin Obaseki. It was said some officials of the Okpebolo administration do not have vehicles adding that the current government inherited nothing from Obaseki. The development is the latest in the Edo State government's inquiry into the administration of Obaseki, which handed over some weeks ago. The absence of Justice Ian Eko of the Abuja Federal High Court on Monday stalled a 50 billion naira suit filed by Nnamdi Kanu, leader of the proscribed Indigenous People of Biafra (IPOB), against the federal government. The case, which was fixed for Monday, could not proceed because Justice Eko was on official engagement in another division of the court. The case was subsequently slated for February 11, 2025 for further mention. Kanu's lawyer, Aloy Ejimako, had at one of the earlier proceedings informed the court that he would be taking over the case from Chief Mike Ozekome, SAN, who filed the suit on April 7, 2022. Kanu, who sued the defendant over allegations bordering on violation of his rights, alleged that he was kidnapped from Kenya and brought back to Nigeria to stand trial. He wants the court to determine whether the way and manner in which the plaintiff was abducted in Kenya and extraordinarily rendition to Nigeria is consistent with extant laws. Now, the leadership of the Academic Staff Union of Universities at Taraba State University, ASU-TSU, has called on the state government to urgently address the welfare of its members following the deaths of 3 lecturers. The union, which alleged that the 3 lecturers died within 48 hours, said the deaths were due to long-standing neglect and unresolved grievances. ASU-TSU chairman Bervi Joshua Garba made the appeal in a statement shared on his Facebook account. He expressed deep concern over the loss of the 3 lecturers whom he identified as Professor Akbaridu Samuel, Dr. Kiliobas Shah, and Malam Ibrahim Saleh Bali. Their untimely deaths, he claimed, were tied to poor welfare conditions, including unpaid earned academic allowances, unresolved salary backlogs, and the absence of a functional pension scheme. Describing the deceased lecturers as not only professionals but also pillars of their families and mentors to many, he decried the dire conditions under which they had to work, which he said contributed to their deaths. Over in Gombe State, metal scrap dealers have called on the government to provide a central location where they can operate collectively. According to them, these will help regulate their business and address growing concerns about stolen items being sold as scrap on the streets of Gombe. Trust TV's Hassan Kohli has more.
Metal scrap business has for years been a vital source of income for many, but it is not without challenges. Among those challenges are concerns raised by dealers about the reputation of their trade being tarnished on the allegation that they buy stolen items. They believe the solution lies in operating from a central government-approved location.
Ya kamata a ce mu shugabanni mu gani, su jami'an tsaro su gani.
We are honest business people, but because there is no proper structure, some bad elements are taking advantage. If the government can give us a central yard, we will monitor ourselves and ensure stolen items are not bought or sold. There is a serious need for us to monitor what is bought or sold, and this can only be achieved if we converge at the same location.
Wannan dole zai bada sukuni na tsaftace ita sana'ar da abubuwan da ake yi.
Currently, scrap dealers operate in scattered locations across the state. This makes it difficult for authorities to monitor their trade effectively. The dealers believe a centralized operational place will not only curb illegal activities but also boost the legitimacy of their business. Government has to come in and regulate our business, since we are dealing with scrap items and we are generating a lot of the scrap. Besides, we are providing not less than 10,000 people with employment. I am urging the youth not to engage in any act of buying or selling stolen items, and we are monitoring to ensure that it does not happen here. However, governments must intervene.
Wanda ta shafi abubuwa da yawa.
Scrap dealers are hopeful that the Gombe state government will heed their call. They believe that by working together in a regulated environment, they will not only protect their business, but also support the fight against theft in the community and boost internally generated revenue for the state government. From Gombe, Hassan Koli reporting for Trust TV.
On the business scene, Nigeria's gross domestic product GDP growth rate in real terms grew by 3.46% in the third quarter of 2024 on a year-on-year basis, the National Bureau of Statistics has revealed. The statement by the Statistician General of the Federation, Adeyemi Adedeji, said the growth is 0.92 percentage points higher than the rate recorded in quarter 3 of 2023, which stood at 2.54%. The statement added that the quarter was higher by 0.27 percentage points relative to the 3.19% recorded in the second quarter of 2024. According to the statement, the major driver of the economy is the services sector, which recorded a growth of 5.19% and contributed 53.58% to the aggregate GDP. It said the economic activity in real terms for quarter 3 2024 stood at 2.54%, which is higher than the rate recorded in the preceding quarter of 2024, which stood at 18.23 trillion naira, and the corresponding third quarter of 2023, which recorded 19.4 trillion naira. The unemployment rate in Nigeria has dropped to 4.3% in the second quarter of 2024. A report by the National Bureau of Statistics said the figure was a decrease from the 5.3% recorded in quarter 1 2024. It stated that the unemployment rate among persons with upper secondary education was 8.5% in quarter 2 of 2024, while the unemployment rate among youth aged 15 to 24 and 25 to 34 years in quarter 2 2024 was 6.5% each and the highest. According to the report, the share of those in wage employment was 14.4% in quarter 2 of 2024, a marginal decrease from the 16% recorded in quarter 1 2024, while the rate of informal employment, which is the share of employed persons working in the informal sector and informal employment, including agriculture, in quarter 2 2024 was 93.0%, a slight increase from the rate reported in quarter 1 2024, which was 92.7%. The Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited says it is working closely with relevant stakeholders to boost crude oil production to 2 million barrels per day and above by the end of 2024. This was revealed by the Chief Corporate Communications Officer, NNPC Limited, Olufemi Shoneye, on Monday, while dispelling reports on production disparity figures supplied by the company and the Nigerian Upstream Petroleum Regulatory Company, NUPRC. Earlier reports in a section of the media had alleged that the 1.54 million barrels per day for September cited by the NUPRC was far below the 1.8 million barrels per day for November cited by the NNPC Limited. However, Shoneye said there was no disparity between production given by both stakeholders. It explained that the seeming disparity is a result of the difference in the period of coverage in the reports. Whereas NNPC Limited's figure was the peak production for October 2024, the NUPRC's figure was the average production for September 2024. Away from Nigeria, still in Africa, Egyptian authorities on Monday said 17 people, including foreigners, were missing after a tourist yacht capsized off the country's Red Sea coast, with 28 others rescued. The vessel, which was carrying 31 tourists of various nationalities and a 14-member crew, sent out a distress signal at 5:30 a.m. According to a statement from Egypt's Red Sea Governorate, the Sea Story embarked on Sunday on a multi-day diving trip from Port Ghalid near Marsa Alam in Egypt's southeast and was due to dock on Friday in the town of Hurghada, 200 kilometers north. Governor Amri Hanafi said some survivors were rescued by an aircraft while others were transported to a safety aboard a warship. Authorities have not confirmed the nationalities of the tourists. The Chinese embassy in Egypt said on Monday that 2 of its nationals were in good health after being rescued on the cruise ship sinking accident in the Red Sea. Polish Foreign Ministry spokesman Paweł Grunski said authorities have information that 2 of the tourists may have had Polish citizenship. In sports, the Oyo State Football Association has banned Olaliko Ojo from watching Shooting Stars home games due to his poor conduct. Ojo's suspension was announced in a press release on Sunday. The secretary of the Football Association, Kehinde Ojelowo, stated that Ojo's ban will be extended to other stadiums in the state. The notification of suspension said the move followed Ojo's unsporting behavior exhibited immediately after 2024-2025 Nigeria Premier Football League Match Day 13 between Shooting Star Sports Club Ibadan and Bayelsa United Football Club Yenogwa on Sunday 24th November 2024, which nearly brought the game of football to disrepute. Anthony Zokachi's goal was enough to secure the maximum points for Shooting Stars in the game. That's it for news updates at this time. For more of our news programs and documentaries, do watch for us on our social media platforms and on our YouTube live stream. I am Chiamaka Nwafo. Thank you for joining us at this time. Good evening.